Did you grow up in an aviation
I did not,
family?
no.
Okay.
No, it was new to me in college. I just kind of decided to go to Embry-Riddle almost on a whim. I was a pilot first. I thought I wanted to be a career pilot until some aviation sales guys came into my life. So I think that the types of people pilots make really great brokers. Yeah, whenever people ask me how they get into aviation sales, and I get frustrated giving this answer.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Tom Lully. I'm your ultimate jet guide, and on today's podcast, we're pulling back the curtain on aviation sales from a pilot and broker and podcaster perspective. We have Mindy with the Captain John Doe Podcast.
Hello.
Mindy, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You just finished up,
MBA.
I know, you just finished up your recording. That was awesome.
Yes, yeah. We just recorded an episode of Captain John Doe where we tell anonymous aviation stories. So we get all the juicy details.
Yes. And I know it's supposed to be anonymous, but I have submitted a
We
story
won't
to
say
you.
which
I won't say
one.
which one.
Yes, you did submit a story, a really great story.
It was a juicy one. So
Maybe you guys can figure it out. I don't know how you would, but good luck.
So thank you very much to Signature Aviation and MBAA for putting on the Creator Studio here at Base so that we can record this kind of podcast. It's been really awesome. So, Mindy, you're a pilot.
Yes.
And I knew you were a pilot, and I knew you had like one of the coolest Cessna 182s I've ever seen on Instagram.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were type rated.
Yes.
You're like a jet pilot.
Yeah, jet pilot. I've had my Citation 525 type rating for maybe about 4-ish years now, 4.5 years.
So were you in sales as a broker before being a pilot, or were you a pilot first?
I was a pilot first. I thought I wanted to be a career pilot until some aviation sales guys came into my life at a certain event that I was putting on for my college at Embry-Riddle. And they came in these brand new airplanes to come to the event. And then we're out at dinner and they're telling me all about their jobs. I'm like, wait a second. So you get a plane as if it's like a company car and you fly around all over the country and you fly people and then you sell it and you get to make great money doing all that too. They're like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I was like, holy crap.
And you don't even fly it?
Yeah. I was like, wow, okay, well, maybe I want to do sales. And maybe 3 weeks later, I had a job offer from Captain John Aviation. That's where I got my aviation sales experience selling brand new pistons for them.
Okay, very cool. Do you feel like you needed to be a pilot in order to sell? Because I mean, you already had the background. Obviously, it's a bonus. It's an add-on. Did you feel like it was a requirement, or what were your thoughts?
It's technically not a requirement, obviously, but even at Textron, not a requirement to be a pilot. However, everyone on our team was a pilot. Not all of them were current and active. I do think personally that I needed to be a pilot to be successful in that role of selling to other pilots.
True. A lot of owner-operators in that world.
So in the jet world, I don't think the same way. I think that you can be a very talented jet broker and not be an active pilot or be a pilot at all, because it's much more about the transaction than it is about the passion.
Yep.
But in 182s and 206s and Bonanzas, you're selling on emotion. And it's
their baby.
It's their dream to own an airplane, not their business tool. And maybe sometimes they use it as a business tool, but it's a much different type of sale. So I think it was important to be a pilot, to be able to walk with them, and also being a young female in the space. I think it added a lot of credibility for me to get in the door places.
Oh, as a pilot.
Yep. I think that if I had showed up with a demo pilot, which was an option, that would have taken away a lot of my face time that I really needed to build relationships and credibility.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So in terms of someone kind of looking into aviation sales, what are some of the skills that you're taking from your pilot background into the sales world? If
you are a pilot, you understand all the technical aspects, but also you get to sell based on personal experience. So instead of me saying, you should buy a 182 because it goes 145 knots and it goes this far, I get to say, you should buy a 182 because your mission is to go from Las Vegas to Arizona. I just did that last weekend, and here's how it went for me.
Yeah.
And it was perfect because it was high wing, it blocks the sun, I had great views over the Grand Canyon. You get to put in all this special experiences versus just reading off stats.
True. That's true. And I would say if you don't have the pilot experience, that's why it's important to talk to pilots and to get out there and to have those stories so that you can have credibility by saying, here's what owners have told me, here's what other pilots have told me, and you can kind of add that without actually becoming a pilot.
Right. And on bigger platforms, I don't think you need to be a pilot in particular, because you're a lot of times not selling to a pilot. So you don't really need to talk that language, if you will.
Have you seen pilots be hamstringed because they were almost too piloty in a transaction when it came to a sales transaction?
Yes, especially where it can get difficult to be a pilot and a salesperson on the demos in particular. And honestly, when you're flying demos, you are flying with such a range of people and different
flight tolerance, flight legs, air legs.
So you have really great pilots you fly with and really not so great. And so you could have some scary moments up there, but what you don't want to do is scare them, right? You don't want them to think this plane is too hard for them to fly. You also don't want to lie to them. So it's like always walking this fine line of being informative, trying to let them fly the plane as much as possible. So yeah. And then, on the transaction side, of course, being a pilot helps a lot. I think just the way that we're built, we're really checklist-oriented people.
True.
And I think that makes a really great broker of, okay, is funds in escrow? Did we set up the escrow account? Does everyone know? Do we have financing in the loop? What's the date? So I think that the types of people pilots make really great brokers because they're so good at completing tasks and doing checklists.
Yeah. Let's talk about selling widgets, because that was something I was talking about the other day. You know, I could have chose to sell lazy boy recliners or private jets. Like I just had to, and I knew I didn't want to sell like 1,000 of one thing to make a good paycheck. But can you speak to what aviation has been like in sales and how aviation sales is different than any other sales career that someone might have?
Yeah, whenever people ask me how they get into aviation sales and what the industry is like, this is where I think some people get frustrated, and I get frustrated giving this answer, that there's no right or wrong way to get into the industry. There's no requirements. So like we talked about, you don't have to be a pilot. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have a certification. All those things are optional. But, you know, Joe Smith watching this in his living room right now can decide to start selling airplanes this afternoon.
Yeah.
So the barrier to entry is very minimal, but also that makes it very difficult to get success in the space, because you do need to have a good, credible name behind you, your own name, your own reputation, where you're going to find clients. So when people are like, what's the steps to become an aviation salesperson? It's like, there are no steps.
Yeah.
All my coworkers are cut from different cloths.
That's true.
I've had sales colleagues. So my background is, of course, flying. That's kind of what I did. But other salespeople's backgrounds was selling propellers or selling parts or selling service, or a lot of us got our experience initially at an OEM, at a manufacturer, like I did at Textron.
Okay.
On the used side, most of my coworkers used to work for a manufacturer, Cirrus or Embraer.
Okay. And was that
Cessna.
a career path that you got through Embry-Riddle, like opportunities from there, or how did?
Yeah. A lot of the manufacturers have entry-level sales positions that are catered towards college students.
Okay.
My path was a little bit different, but those programs do exist, and that's how they get a lot of their sales force.
Gotcha. Mindy, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Where can people find out more about you? Not just the Captain John Doe Podcast, but they'd love to connect with you, maybe ask you a few questions. Yeah,
well, I do a couple of things. So depending on what you want to do, if you want to buy or sell an airplane, of course, you got this wonderful guy here. I sell for a company called Lone Mountain Aircraft, but I do a lot on social media. So if you want to follow along on all the things I do or get in contact with me, you can find me there. So I have accounts at Schmindy. It's SCHMIIINDY. It's just a funny name. Instagram, YouTube, wherever you like to doom scroll at 2 a.m. That's where I am.
That's great. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you later.
See ya.